Nepal. Nepal is a young, landlocked country tucked in the Himalayan mountains of South Asia. It measures 550 miles from east to west and 150 miles from north to south. About 75% of the land is mountainous, and 8 of the 10 highest peaks in the world fall within Nepal's borders. This includes Mount Everest at its highest, which soars 29,035 feet above sea level. Kathmandu is the capital city of Nepal, here on the map in red. More than half of the population of Nepal is under the age of 25. To some, Nepal is a snowy land where mountain climbers battle the odds to reach the summit of the world's tallest peaks. Yet it is far more than a playground. Squeezed between India and China, Nepal is one of the most diverse countries in the world. Its physical landscape ranges from forests to deep valleys to spectacular peaks of the Himalayan mountain range. Indeed, the variety of plant and animal life represented in Nepal's distinct natural environments is spectacular. The Terai region, a 20-mile strip, runs across Nepal's southern border. Dense, steamy jungles once covered the land, but few of these forests remain today. Instead, most of the country's food is cultivated here in the Terai. Rice, barley, potatoes, sugarcane, and tea are the key crops here. Yes, the soil is rich, benefiting from several rivers flowing down from the Himalayas. Despite its size, the Terai is the most heavily populated region of Nepal and is home to nearly 50% of Nepal's population. Few countries on earth equal Nepal's cultural diversity. More than 100 ethnic groups live within this small territory, and about 120 different languages and dialects are spoken. Some of Nepalese live in century-old cities lined with Hindu temples and shrines, while others live in tiny villages in the mountains a stone's throw from a Buddhist monastery. In the bottom right corner, you'll see a Tharu girl going fishing. Above her, there's a yak and a Sherpa, and boy, do they have their work cut out for them in the Himalayan mountains. Below them, you'll see a tuk-tuk, probably traveling through Kathmandu. In the center of the photo, in the middle and the bottom, you'll see a normal Nepali home, the inside of a Nepali home. And above that, you'll see a village with children walking barefoot down the street, probably followed by their mother. And you'll see cows lining the streets. The cow is the national animal of Nepal, and this tells me that this is probably a Hindu village. Beside the Hindu village, you'll see a woman who's harvesting her potatoes, getting ready for market, and below her, a woman is carrying firewood for her home and family. Diverse religious practice is also respected, from shamanism to Buddhism to nature worship and Hinduism. Indeed, Nepal is well known for its historic relics and religious symbolism displayed in its architecture and national monuments. Influences from China and India are clear, but the stupa is revered as a Nepali original. The traditions and mountain settlements of Nepal are unique in the world. Here on the bottom right, you'll see a burial ritual being performed in the mountains. And in the top center, you see women in traditional garb dancing. And below them, you'll see a grandmother and her granddaughter likely gathering food for dinner. There are other breathtaking beauties to behold in Nepal. In fact, the Phulwa Lake region is stunning. The lake is dotted with colorful canoes and beautiful islands. The Pokhara region is home to deep gorges and waterfalls. From Sagarmatha to Raha to Shuklafanta National Parks and Gaurashankar and Annapurna conservation areas, one realizes that Nepal's natural diversity is arguably richer than anywhere else in the world. Take a look at the remarkable biodiversity in Nepal. Here are some of the most remarkable people in Nepal. The most renowned is Buddha himself. It is believed he was born under this very tree in Lumbini. Now it is adorned with flags to celebrate peace, courage, earth, and sky. Jamak Gimir is a disabled writer who taught herself to write with her foot. Her work, A Flower in the Midst of Thorns, has won international acclaim and is on my reading list for this fall. Shanti Shodhari is a modern writer who is revered by her countrymen. At age 63, she has published 65 books focusing on educating the world about the Tharu people of Nepal. Pushpa Basnet won the CNN Hero of the Year award, as well as many other accolades for her social work, rescuing orphans in the street of Kathmandu. Meera Rai is a world-renowned extreme distance runner from Nepal. These ultra-running events can cover 50 to 100 miles of rough terrain and last as long as 6 days. She certainly shows the grit and determination of the Nepali people, too. Nearly 40 years after its design by Japanese architect Kanga, the Buddhist Center is taking shape in Lumbini. A museum is on site, as well as stunning gardens, reflection pools, and places of worship. Nepal has been rocked by social unrest and political upheaval for many years, despite the good intentions of both President Hamad and Prime Minister Oli. Something that surprised me is that Nepal reserves a third of its parliamentary seats for women. Unfortunately, the country's long-standing monarchy was overthrown in the 90s, and the government has been frequently reorganized since resulting in political and economic chaos and corruption. The top right corner, you'll see that the Digital Silk Road is underway. This was an initiated project by Chinese President Xi Jinping in 2013. And this railway project is seen as a strategic move by China to diversify its infrastructure investments abroad and to expand its geostrategic space. It's believed that China has already invested more than $70 billion in this project to cross the mountains into Nepal. Nepal has many unique challenges. Among them, mudslides, unrelenting earthquakes and flooding, climate change, and deforestation. Further crippled by poor access to education and a weak labor market, scarce medical care as well, the Nepali people are faced with many challenges apart from political corruption. It is one of the poorest nations in the world, with few industries and with farmland that barely produces enough food for its people. In fact, Nepal is forced to rely heavily on its neighbors, China and India, to meet its food, energy, and medical needs. Snake bites are one of the leading health burdens in Nepal. There are roughly 40,000 cases of snake bites every year. Most of these instances occur in the Terai region, where nearly 3,000 people died last year alone of snake bites. A lack of medicine, money, transportation, and antivenom present this tremendous challenge. Unemployment already stifled the youth, and despite feeling as though Nepal was at the end of the earth, it has also been devastated by the coronavirus this year. At the end of May, UNICEF surveyed 7,500 families in Nepal to find that 1/3 of households face shortages of food, medicine, and other critical necessities. More than 70% of the families reportedly engaged in agriculture as a business, with only 25% being salaried. More than half of the families polled reported a job loss. COVID-19 has resulted in 20% of children in Nepal eating less and 52% not able to study at all from home. One of the uplifting aspects of Nepal is music itself and art. It's an enthralling blend of rhythm, melody, and poetic lyrics. Here are some of the instruments of Nepal: the bansuri and the sarangi. And down here in the bottom right, you also see some of the panche baha, which are basically a band of Nepalese indigenous instruments. And they include a horn-like instrument, several drums, and even a pipe instrument. These are typically played by the Dalit caste according to Hindu tradition. Indeed, from the potter in Bhaktapur to the Buddhist monk playing traditional music, to the Kirit jewelry maker and the young Madal player, to the impromptu rain dancer and the Thanga artist painting mandala. Nepali are an exuberant, beautiful people, and their home is an intriguing land, struggling to make ends meet against one of the most beautiful, magnificent backdrops in the world. Join me in remembering this remarkable tribe. I hope one day to visit Nepal in all of its natural splendor. In the meantime, I pray for a vibrant Nepal. Thank you for watching my presentation.